Genshin Impact is a free-to-play role-playing game released in September of 2020. Based in the fictional world of Teyvat, it follows the main protagonist known as the Traveler as you search for your twin sibling throughout a vast world of land, sea, sky, and more. Gameplay centers around elemental reactions, varying ways of combining them and alternating between 4 characters in order to fight your battles. It's within these reactions that Genshin Impact really shines through above other games of its caliber and keeps the gameplay loop constantly engaging. The 7 elements are Anemo, Geo, Electro, Dendro, Hydro, Pyro, and Cryo, and for the most part they can combine with each other to create huge damage boosts and bonuses. For example, using Dendro and Hydro creates a plant bulb on the field, and when inflicted with Pyro causes a huge explosion. Another common one is to get your opponent wet with Hydro, freeze them with Cryo, and then melt them with Pyro for a 200% damage boost. The Traveler can resonate with and change to the element of the represented city in the game, which as of recording is Anemo, Geo, Electro, and Dendro, which really comes in handy if you're somewhat of a free-to-play player. Actually, let's talk about that. The game is free to play, and you certainly can play to the end of the game without paying a single cent. The main way Genshin Impact makes its money is through wish pulling, the gacha mechanic that allows players to spend real-world cash for a chance to get more characters and high-rarity weapons. And as much as I thoroughly despise these manipulative marketing practices aimed mostly at children, I'll be honest, the developers are extremely generous with the amount of in-game currency called Primogems that they give out. You earn them simply by playing the game and partaking in monthly events. I mean, you can get Primogems through using the Battle Pass, increasing adventure rank, daily commissions, Spiral Abyss minigame, Hoyo Lab daily check-in, completing quests, completing adventure handbook tasks, unlocking tutorials, completing domains, opening chests, discovering waypoints, leveling up the statues of the 7, promotional codes, just waiting for server maintenance to be done. Or you could just, buy them with real money. Anyway, if you do go the free-to-play route and don't use any wishes, you'll be given 7 characters to play with, at least one of each element. However, with over 60 playable characters, you'll be missing out on a ton of content by not wishing. Said characters can wield any of the 5 weapon types: sword, claymores, polearms, bows, and catalysts, and they all have different ways of using them. For instance, the catalyst user Haizo uses his Anemo powers to punch and kick harder and faster. Or Yao Yao, who, while wielding a spear, uses her magical plushie to heal teammates. Each playable character has tons of lore, backstory, voice lines, a birthday, favorite foods, hobbies, interests, shared relationships with other characters, and some even have a special dating sim-like hangout event to further their development even more. Enemies in the overworld scale to your level with a system known as adventure rank. Now, normally I don't like when games have enemy HP and damage scale to you, as it doesn't really make much sense, but given the constant backtracking you do in this game, I can see why they did. You're given the option to decrease it whenever you want every 24 hours, but in doing so, you lower the value of the rewards that you get. Anyway, onto the plot. Playing as one of the 2 twins, known simply as the Travelers, you become separated in subspace by someone calling themselves the Sustainer of Heavenly Principles. Waking up stranded on a beach, you meet Paimon, your overly talkative floating fairy companion who tells you she can help guide you around and help find your twin too. Arriving in Mondstadt, a European-inspired castle city, you find it's being attacked by a dragon known as Storm Terror. After meeting the femboy Bard, he tells you that Storm Terror isn't that bad of a guy once you get to know him, and he's actually being manipulated by the Abyss Order, a largely unknown group of creatures seeking revenge against the gods for destroying their home 500 years ago. Turns out the femboy Bard Venti is actually a vessel for Lord Barbados, the Anemo Archon. After purifying Storm Terror, he tells you to go visit the neighboring region of Leeway to find the current vessel for the Geo Archon Rex Lapis. They find the current vessel for the Geo Archon Rex Lapis after he falls from the sky dead. A grown adult named Child tries to steal his Gnosis, a magical chess piece that allows Archons to talk to God. The man with the dumb name doesn't like this, so he unleashes a monster to terrorize Leeway, but it's swiftly dealt with. After finding the true vessel for Rex Lapis, it's revealed that he gave up his Gnosis in some confidential contract and is retiring as the ruling Archon. The best part is he does have information about your twin, but he can't say anything. Great. Going back to Mondstadt, you meet the pretty boy Dainsleif, who looks like a villain but isn't. Probably. During an investigation into why the Abyss Order is doing their evil supervillain thing, your twin appears as their leader. After being left dumbfounded by this, you end up at a series of islands called Inazuma. You find out that the visions, the artifacts that give people their powers to control the elements, are being taken away from them by the vessel of the Electro Archon known as the Raiden Shogun. A shrine maiden named Yae Miko helps you defeat her, but can't provide any information about your twin. The story continues on like this for the most part and follows the theme of seeking out the respective Archons to try to find any semblance of information about how to reach your twin. The game is very story heavy, with even the game's wiki having over 16,000 pages worth of content. If you want to get started, just go to the page for the Cataclysm and then fall into the multiple hour-long rabbit hole that I did while writing this. This shit goes deep. Now, I really don't know how to segue into this, so let's talk about Paimon. Paimon is one of the kings of hell from Ars Goetia, or the Lesser Keys of Solomon, a demonology grimoire from the 17th century. With 200 demons under his rule, he is powerful and intelligent, revealing any and all mysteries of the elements. He commands demons, taking the shape of men, playing musical instruments, and... oh. Wait a minute. Paimon seems to be a very mixed bag when it comes to reception via the fan base. While she is the mascot of the game, the social media presence, and irritatingly the voice of the Traveler, which I'll get into in a moment, normally wouldn't be too overbearing if it weren't for, well, let's just say her outgoing personality. Paimon is loud, Paimon has a very high-pitched voice, and Paimon talks a lot, and for some reason in the third-person perspective. While sometimes handing out hilarious one-liners and giving funny nicknames out like calling Venti the tone-deaf bard, most of the time she'll simply act as the mouthpiece for the Traveler when for some reason the Traveler already has a voice actor, which you can, for the most part, only hear when going through the dialogue options in their character menu, and even then, they're just talking to Paimon. This really gives you a jarring sense of dissonance when, for the first time reunited with your twin, Paimon talks for you and the Traveler just stands there with a dumb look on their face. While she can be annoying, she does have her moments. When not overdoing the stupid emergency food meme, she legitimately respects and cares for the Traveler and has shown multiple times that she will do whatever it takes to help you. However, it is a little strange that nobody seems to know who or what Paimon seems to be. There are theories out there saying that she's an unknown god, the god of time, and even a pretty cool fan-made video of it. Also, by the way, that introduction joke wasn't a joke at all, I fooled you. All of the Archons have names taken straight from the Lesser Keys of Solomon, like Barbados, Morax, I, and Viewer. After watching roughly 10 straight hours of lore videos and feeling like Charlie in that one Always Sunny scene in the mailroom, I'm pretty convinced that she isn't what she seems. Surely this can't be a coincidence, and considering how the Archon quest seemed to already be planned out, we'll just have to wait and see how this wraps up. Personally, I'm hoping like it ends up like that fan-made video. Now, the game certainly isn't without its faults, trust me, I have plenty of complaints about it. I play the game every day. Like, the stamina system. Look, I get it. Stamina is used in games like these to keep players out of places they shouldn't be and stop them from spamming strong charge attacks or whatever, but when the world is vast and open, why the fuck do I still have to abide by the stamina system when I'm not in combat? All it does is put a damper on me when I'm exploring, especially in the Sumeru Desert, which is mostly open space. Most of the time you're sprinting and then waiting for your stamina bar to fill back up. And I know there's ways to mitigate the problem a little bit, but what the fuck, man? As I said in my last video, Silent Hill did this right over 20 years ago. I understand this is a mobile game first and a PC port second, but holy shit. Controller configuration is horrendous. If you want to confirm something in the menu, good luck. Sometimes it's A, sometimes it's X, sometimes it's even Y. So in some places there's these little floating lights all over and they're used to get around fast. And you know how you activate them? Left bumper and X, and then R every time afterwards. Why? Climbing seems to be very hit or miss depending on the area, but I spend a lot of times trying to get my character to stop sticking to the wall like a Spider-Man on crack. This one's kind of a personal complaint, but the Traveler uses the dull blade for cutscenes, which makes almost no sense when it's a low damage 1-star blade and you have countless other way cooler models to use. And even from a lore perspective, Kaya gives you the Traveler's handy sword, which looks way cooler, so again, what the fuck? A pretty popular complaint is the lack of variation in character models, which becomes much more apparent the more you play. There's only 6. Short, medium, and tall, male and female. Combine that with only 5 weapon types and you start to notice patterns like shared animations for nearly everything depending on the body type. Characters won't go 10 seconds without saying one of 3 phrases, and if you're playing someone like Barbara, it gets super annoying super quickly. My god, shut the fuck up! But enough ranting, let's talk about something good. The music. Now the music in this game is nothing short of incredible. Yu Peng Chen created a beautiful soundtrack consisting of hundreds of songs ranging from high-energy battle themes like Gilded Runner, to calming ballads like A New Day with Hope. Each piece excellently represents the area you're in and never feels out of place or in any way repetitive. Most games like this that have daily quests to do I end up putting on mute and have something else in the background, but The music in this game is so good that I feel compelled not to. The 7 nations of Teyvat are based on real-world locations like Mondstadt being Germany, Liyue being China, Inazuma being Japan, Sumeru being Egypt, and upcoming nations like Fontaine and Snezhnaya being France and Soviet-era Russia. The variation in team composition can keep gameplay refreshing with how well some of the characters will unexpectedly work together, and it's immensely satisfying when you figure out one that works. There's even team compositions that will boost your non-elemental damage too, like ones where a physical damage dealer is your main DPS. And while arguably there is a right way to build characters, this is a worldwide gacha game where the goal is to appease the common consumer, so you can really build them any way you want and still have fun and enjoy the game in any way you want. Regardless of its flaws and its controversial public perception, the game is a ton of fun and well worth your time in my opinion. It's a fully fleshed out free-to-play open world game with no ads, no pressure to spend money, and plenty of in-depth lore and theories, millions of players, a huge community, and a lot of content to explore with more coming all the time. The developers have even laid out a roadmap of all the upcoming content for years to come, and they tease it constantly through the story itself. And I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm working on some real long-form content stuff and needed to do a little something in the meantime, so I hope to have more stuff out soon. To all my new subscribers, welcome. I hope you liked it. And, well, you know the deal. Subscribe and like and... Well, does the like button even do anything anymore? You know what? Fuck it. Forget it. Bye!